What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the SketchUp Kyle channel. My name is Kyle. In this video, we're going to be taking a simple 2D kitchen plan here and turning it into a beautiful 3D kitchen. This is going to be a remodel for a client of mine here. On the left, you're going to see this is their kind of existing kitchen layout where it looks like we're going to blow out this part of the wall here and open things up into the living room and kind of just have a nice open concept here. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to start working in plan, and you'll kind of see my process along the way. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to take this. So this 2D plan was given to me by my designer, and essentially my job now is to create the 3D model for her. So I'm going to take what she gave me. I'm just going to Control C, copy this over here, and this is going to be my reference for everything that I do over here. So to start, when I start a 3D model, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click into it. And so I'm into my group here. What I'm going to do first is I'm just going to erase all of these lines of the kitchen plan. Because I kind of want to just work the way that I work with SketchUp is I want to simply just create the floor plan as its own thing. I don't want any of my 2D drawing on the plan. So we'll erase all that and start from scratch. And now I just have a box with my windows and my door openings. Pretty simple stuff. I'm going to take Control C and copy that again. And now I want to make the walls. So I'm just kind of going to delete these lines here that are making this kind of all one cohesive group. And from here, I'm going to go back to my notes. When she measured this, it says 97-inch ceiling height, 96-inch ceiling height. I'm going to go with just 96. And I'm going to use my extrude tool, my push-pull tool. And let's start to just pull these walls up 96 inches. I'm going to erase those window lines. There might be another one or two window lines here. Again, the first part of my process is I just want to get the walls kind of pulled up in 3D. So that's what I'm working on here. And then from there, we can start to get into like the windows and the openings and things like that. And then we'll take a peek at some of the existing photos that she has given me. So here we are, almost done. This is and I'm just double clicking these. Once you put in an input of 96 inches, it should continue to do so all the way around for us. So as I'm looking at this again now, we have this wall of windows, looks like a door opening here. I'm not sure what that is, and a couple other openings. Looks like we got a 6-foot sliding door. This is another opening. So what I'm going to do here is just to clean it up, I'm going to go ahead and erase. I'm going to erase all these lines on the back of my model here. But for the most part, every opening in a home should be 80 inches tall. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go in. This is the window above the sink. I'm going to start at the bottom and just go 80 inches up. I'm going to do the same over here for that sliding door. So I have those two heights set at 80. I'm going to use my extrude tool here and just kind of make that opening for our new sliding door. And I'll continue to erase these lines here. I'm going to draw the casing on these windows, and it looks like she drew the casing at 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to go up 2.5 inches, and boom, all of a sudden we have a cased opening for our future sliding patio door. I'll do the same thing over here. I'm not quite sure what the height of that window is at yet, but we'll get to it. I noticed something was wrong with her model here. I'm just going to kind of fix it real quick. Her wall wasn't straight. Frustrating, but we'll get that fixed, no problem. Okay, so I believe now I can get rid of these silly lines. Maybe not. What's going on over here? But anyways, I will clean that part of the model up later. I'm going to continue just to keep making my 80-inch openings for all doorways and all windows. And that's kind of just the universal opening size for doors and windows. And I'm going to come over here. This is a huge window wall. And it looks like it goes all the way here to here. And we'll kind of just continue to erase these lines. And I know this is probably a little bit more detailed than maybe you need it to be, but for me, I really think especially doors and windows, if they're not looking how they look like in real life, it kind of, doesn't make the model as quite impressive. So I'm thinking that this is a huge help as far as detail, and it helps the customer client kind of see the space a little bit more accurately than it would be without. So again, I'm just making my door heights at 80 inches. And this is pretty much my process for all of my 3D models. I always start with pulling up the walls and getting my doors and windows set up, because from there, then I'm just working with the cabinets and the actual kitchen itself. So there we go. I have most of it complete. We got one more little opening here. And I think my next move would be, like, we're gonna go look at some existing photos of this kitchen in real life, and I'm curious to see what else I need to add for detail. So that's pretty much it. So that's continue erasing some of these unnecessary lines. I do have to clean up that wall because this wall is pretty wonky right now. But anyways, that is for the most part, that's what we set out to do here. I'm gonna just take my move tool and move this and just kind of land it right on top of my 2D plan that we kind of created earlier. So there we go. Now I want to get back into my photos, and these are the existing photos that were given to me of the place. So this is the kitchen that we're tearing out. It looks like there's an opening here that we kind of sealed up. Let me continue here. So looks like there's one of the windows. What window is that? I'm not quite sure. Okay. That's the window where the patio door is going to go. Let me see if I can find let's see if I can find, okay, here we go. So there's the existing kitchen window, and there's where our new patio door is going to go. Now I want to see if she gave me a note on so it says 7 inches off counter. So I'm going to go in here and draw my window in. And typically countertop height is 36 inches, so I'm going to go up 36. I'll make a line, and then I'm going to go up again another 7 inches, and that's what she told me it was off the counter. So I'll erase all those lines. That's where the bottom of my window is at, and I just want to look at that again one more time, and it looks like just casing all the way around the bottom of the window. So I will add that here. And if you guys have any questions while I'm doing things, I know I'm probably doing them quickly, but if you have any questions while I'm doing something, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. And all of a sudden we have this nice window and patio door wall figured out. Now, let's get back into the photo so we can kind of get our bearings here. So we got that wall complete. Let's go look at, there was a huge wall of windows in the living room that I wanted to take a peek at, which was this one. So I'm going to kind of just minimize that over here. Let me get my screen over here. We'll kind of shrink that up. All right, so my next trick will be to get this window kind of looking accurate here. I'm going to see if she gave me a measurement. It does say 27 inches off floor here. So what I'm going to do, double click into my group. I'm going to come 27 inches up from here. It kind of snaps to it. We'll go all the way over. Let's go ahead and just kind of trim all these lines, these extra cutoff lines here. And then I'll make my trim around the bottom of this window. Okay. Oh. And I'm just going to clean up these lines here. And from here, I'm just going to use my push-pull tool and just kind of push these windows in. All right, so we got our 2 main windows. I'm still not, this is really bugging me what's going on with this wall. But anyways, let's get back to the photos. You can see here, this is this opening right here must be this opening right here. So I want to just quickly fix this if I can. So it looks like it's a little bit more than 80 inches off the floor. I might raise that up like 4 inches or something just to make it look real. It's nice that it's not a cased opening, so I don't have to worry about putting that around the edges. But this is really bugging me. This part right here, where it's not quite, the wall is not quite perfect here. Let me just clean this up. I apologize. The lady that draws my plans sometimes, she doesn't get them quite perfectly geometrically sound, but looks like I have fixed it for the most part, so we're in no worries there. So anyways, that is our opening. That looks like it is right there. It looks like there's some hardwood floor on the flooring here. I want to go see what I want to see what this other wall looks like here. So let's go back to our photos and let's see. Here's the corner. It looks like there is a entry door and maybe a hall closet door here. And then this looks like an entry into a hallway. I want to just see if I can find that hallway view a little bit better. So there you go. There is your hallway entrance. So what I'm going to do over here is let's go ahead and I'm going to get rid of that 80 inches that I put in there. And that should kind of lock things in. So here is that, oh, my bad, kind of got lost here. There is that hallway opening next to those two doors in the corner. So boom, we have the majority of our kitchen figured out here. My next line of details, I'm just going to go through and add the 4 inches of base trim at the bottom where it meets the floor. And this, again, this is just another detail that helps make it look more realistic. I leave mine in 2D. If I'm doing a more of a rendering, I'll add some depth and some thickness to these. But again, I'm just kind of doing my 4-inch trim all around the bottom of my 3D model. And let's see. Cool. So there we go. We have, for the most part, we have our 3D box all ready to go. Before I get started in the actual kitchen, I still want to, I want to finish these windows. So it looks like just a really simple picture window with 2 double hungs on the side. I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and let's go ahead and just kind of draw a rectangle here. I'm going to use my push-pull tool and just kind of get it to that opening. Let's go ahead and make that a group. So I just double clicked a bunch of times and make group. I click back into it. I'm gonna use my offset tool, and about 1.5 inches, I'm gonna just click in, and all of a sudden we have what looks like a window frame. Use my rectangle tool, grab that midpoint there, and we'll hit that midpoint there as well. And now we have a window. I'll use my paint bucket tool. I can look for some glass here. Let's go ahead and just click on that one and kind of just put that glass so you can kind of, you can kind of see in from here. And then it looks like we got to finish these double hung windows here. So let's go ahead, do that same motion with the rectangle tool where I'm just kind of filling the opening up. And then from here, I will triple click and make it into a group. I'm going to click back into it. We'll use my offset tool. I like 1.5 inches to offset for my windows. Sure, you could easily grab a window from the 3D warehouse, but I tend to not like to do that because a lot of things in the 3D warehouse are made pretty weird, and sometimes when you add stuff from the 3D warehouse, it kind of slows your 3D model down. So I've kind of just found a quick way to make my windows, and it works for me. So if you have a different way of making your windows or your doors, go ahead, be my guest, do whatever suits your needs. And again, I'm just using my rectangle tool to connect the midpoints on my inner window. And boom, we have what looks like a double hung window here. And I'm just going to take copy and paste this into that opening. And boom, now we have a nice window wall here. I'm going to go back over here to the kitchen window. Let's find that photo of the kitchen window one more time. Let's see, where are you? That'll do. So it looks like just a simple, it's a crank window here. Let's go ahead, and again, we're gonna use our rectangle tool. I'm just gonna put my rectangle here. We'll pull it that way. And there's kind of like a little divide in the middle of the window. So I'm just gonna make a line here. And I'll go over a 1/2 inch on each side to kind of get that vertical piece that I'm seeing. Let's erase that midpoint. And then from here, I'll do my 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Let's pull those in. And then I'll use my rectangle tool. I like to hit the midpoint, in the midpoint of that interior line. And I just toggled, if you hit the K on your keyboard, it'll kind of toggle this X-ray dotted line where you can see behind the lines. It's a very useful tool. You can always just hit that on your keyboard and use it as a toggle. But cool, we just finished up this awesome 3D window wall with all the windows and all the trim and everything in 3D. I didn't put doors in yet. Maybe we get to the doors later. I suppose for now, actually, let's just draw that that sliding patio door. I'm gonna draw one pane of the sliding door, and I'll make it like 2 inches thick. Let me just use my offset tool. I'm gonna offset about 3.5 inches. I'm gonna push that in the 2. Maybe we raise that bottom up a little bit. And again, I'm just gonna kind of connect the midpoints of where my glass would go. And again, it's a sliding patio door. It doesn't have to be, it's not super detailed. I'm kind of just trying to show the suggestion of the shape here. And what I've done here now is I kind of just created 2 of the same sliding patio door, and there you go. So cool. We've done most of the heavy lifting now. And I think at this point now I'm gonna minimize these. Let's go full screen into SketchUp. I'll kind of even pull this guy all the way over here. Okay, let's get into the part where we take the cabinetry notes that she's given me, and let's go ahead and make these for the 3D model. So I'm gonna start on this wall over here where it says beverage fridge, drawers, prep sink, fridge, pantry, 3 floating shelves. Let me go ahead and let's just kind of copy. I'm gonna click into this. I'm gonna copy. I'm just highlighting all these boxes. I'm just gonna copy those, and we'll come over here. Let me hide my walls, and I'm gonna kind of just zoom in. I'm just gonna paste what has been given to me and kind of locate it there. So she's saying pantry, fridge. I'm going to start with the fridge. These cabinets are going to go to the ceiling. So I'm going to start by extruding my fridge the 8 feet towards the ceiling. These guys have 3 floating shelves, a prep sink, drawers, and a beverage fridge. I'm just going to pull these up to 3 feet because that's where our countertop will go on this side here. So we'll kind of leave that like that. I'm going to leave, I guess we can kind of get rid of these edges here. And that's kind of what she is hoping to see. Now we will get into the details here of how I draw the cabinet. So one of the first things that I do is if there's going to be crown molding, I always like to leave at least 3 to 4 inches. So I'm going to kind of just draw 3 inches down from the top of my cabinets. That's where it meets the ceiling. So I'm going to leave that space for the crown. And then the width on this fridge box is 3'1.5". So I'm assuming she's giving me 3 feet for the fridge opening. So I'm going to take the center point here, assuming this is just a 6 foot tall fridge. I'm going to go over 18 inches. Okay, let's just kind of push that back and push this over 18 inches. Okay, so that's where our fridge will go. We'll grab one from my 3D warehouse that I have, and I'm going to continue these lines up. And I probably need to double check to see if let me go check my notes. I need to make sure this is going to be, if it's inset or full overlay. Let me see if I got any notes here. Painted cabinets, prep sink, possible opening, island seating, quartz top. Okay, I'm just going to draw these as very simple cabinetry then. So in the corner of my pantry here, I have 2'6". I'm just going to put 1.5 inches for filler purposes there to get it kind of off the wall. On the bottom of all cabinets, I usually pull up 4 inches, and that kind of represents like a toe kick situation. And then from here, we're just going to go all the way up. Let's continue. I want to continue this line at the fridge and kind of go over there. And then we're just going to split our doors here. So I'm going to do this inset panel of 2¼ inches. And I'll do the same here, here. We'll do the same above the fridge as well. And now it's starting to look like actual kitchen cabinets. Now, whenever I get a really tall door here, especially like a pantry door, I'm going to split the midpoint and basically put another 2¼ inch style in between it. The doors sometimes warp when they're too long like that. So it helps to kind of break it up with another piece of structure here. So there's your pantry, there's your fridge with the doors on top. And then over here, we have our, I believe that's our beverage fridge and a prep sink and things like that. So what I like to do here is we're gonna start at the bottom. Let me go ahead and just draw my 4 inches of toe kick kind of all around the bottom there. And then on my countertop, I'm going to draw 1¼ inch down. That's the thickness of most stone countertops. You can get them different, but from what I've learned, that is the majority of stone countertops. And again, so she wants drawers, prep sink, beverage fridge. Okay, so let's start with that beverage fridge. That's going to be 24 inches wide. She's given me an opening of 2¾ So I'm going to draw 0.75 over from the corner here. And I know that I can push, I'm going to push this part of my cabinetry in because that's where I'm going to slide in a small mini beverage fridge. And then my next move will be making these cabinets what they needed to be. So this needs to be a drawer bank, and this needs to be a sink base essentially. So what we're going to do here is I like to just kind of come down about 7 inches for a top drawer. There'll be a top drawer above the sink. We'll kind of split that down the middle for the drawers below the sink. And then over here, I'm just going to split that midpoint there and make my drawers. We'll get rid of that line. And then I like, toe kick can be 2 inches, 3 inches. You know, there's different depths of toe kick, but I kind of just like to add a little bit of depth there for my cabinetry. And then I'm going to continue with my offset tool of going in 2¼ inches on door fronts and drawer fronts. Typically in the top drawer, I won't put an offset of 2¼ inches there. It's a little small. Like if I were to do it, it looks a little small, but it can be done. Maybe in this one we'll draw it with that one. And then she did call for a prep sink here, so I'm just going to take my midpoint here. I'm going to assume that this is a square prep sink. I'm going to make it, I don't know, like 16 inches. So we'll just make this kind of nice square sink here. And from here, it's an 8x8 square. I'm going to go down, I'll go down my 1¼ here for my countertop thickness. And then I'm just going to move these guys 8 inches over. And I have a 16x16 inch square. Use my offset tool. I'm just going to go about 1/4 inch offset. And then I can pull, well, actually, let me pull my sink forward first. So I'm going to grab these lines that I'm moving. And we'll kind of just inch these guys forward a little bit. And then let's go ahead and get a metal look on that prep sink. And then I will kind of push that down 6 inches or so. Let's go ahead and zoom into the sink. Kind of draw the braided bottom line here with a little bit of a drain shape. Cool. Okay, so that's one quick cabinet wall here. I didn't draw hardware yet. I did not add any materials or textures or faucets or things like that, but let's leave that be for now. I want to go ahead and let's get the next easiest one out of the way. That's going to be this island with the trash, the drawers, and the microwave. What I'll do here is let's just, again, we're going to click into the old group. I'm going to copy these items here, Control C. Let's go ahead and just Control V it here, and I'll just draw this over here. I'm going to pull everything up 3 feet. Okay. And then my next move would be to draw that 1¼ countertop thickness kind of all the way around my island. And then this is going to be the overhang on the island. So we'll go ahead and let's just get that tucked in, erase some of these silly lines. And microwave drawer, drawers, and trash. So let's go ahead and get rid of the lines on the top and the side. And again, if you guys have questions while I'm doing something, or if you need to go back and replay it, please do. And if you want to see something more specific in the future, just let me know. My next move is going to be to draw the 4-inch toe kick. Let's erase that line and that line. Now she gave me 24 inches for a microwave drawer. She has drawers in the middle and then trash. So I'm going to draw my 7-inch line down from my top drawer. We'll go all the way over. I'm going to split these drawers here. That's going to be our trash pullout with a drawer above. And then she said microwave with drawer below. So I'm just going to pull this line over and draw my drawer there. And then here I'm going to kind of just create a little box for where my microwave is going to go. We'll add that at some point when I go to the 3D warehouse and we start to pull stuff in. But now I'm just going to use my offset tool. We're going to get these faces back drawn in for our cabinetry. And yeah, the volume of the island has now taken shape. So I'm going to just push in my toe kick here, and boom, I'm just going to double click in everything and we create that group there. Now what I'll do here is I'm just going to take that line and match it up here. And that's where it is in this plan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on a point here, the corner of the beverage fridge, and I'm going to move that over here and just click on that same point, and my island is where it's supposed to be. Now we will get to this corner cabinet, which probably is the most important one. So I'm going to click back into it and let's just start copying what we need to from here to get the job done. Okay, got that. Now I'm going to copy and paste that over here. Now, if you remember, I had to kind of correct some lines here, so I'm just going to doctor this up real quick before we get started. No worries here. Now, again, I'm taking a 2D plan here with all of these parts of the cabinet. The wood hood and the range, I'm going to go ahead and erase the range from my 2D plan, and we'll kind of do this in chunks. So this is where it says 3 doors, drawers, and pull out. So that's 3 doors above as far as uppers go. You have drawers and you have a pull out here. So let's start again by getting everything pulled up 3 feet. And I guess I can go ahead and pull these guys up as well so that we're working with all the cabinets together. So that's my corner bank of cabinets. Now the uppers is a little bit tricky. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull these guys all the way up, and I'll kind of match I'm going to just click on a point over here and it's going to match the height. So I know that my uppers are now at 36 inches. Or my bad, they're matching the height of my ceiling. So that's about 8 feet. I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull up my uppers here. Oh, and then what we're going to do is let's go ahead and erase these lines. What we're going to do is typically upper cabinets sit at least 18 inches off the countertop height. So I'm going to come up 18 inches and I'm just going to draw this 18-inch line all the way around here. And from here, we can just simply use our extrude tool and let's just push these in, and all of a sudden we have our upper cabinets here. I'll go in with the eraser tool, snip off some of these lines. Cool, so now it's starting to take shape. Let's, again, focus in on this 3 doors, drawer, and the pull-out. I'm going to zoom into here. Let's just erase these top lines. Again, I like to start my cabinets with my 1.25 inch countertop thickness. I'm just going to bring this around. Let me erase some of these unnecessary lines here. And then again, once I get the countertop thickness in, I like to draw my 4-inch toe kick. And we'll snip that line as well. Let's just go ahead and push that in now. Again, I push it in about 2 inches or so. It can be whatever you wish. But that's the box here. And again, she's calling for drawers and a pull-out. So I'm going to come down 7 inches from the top for the top drawer. I'll make another drawer look here. And let's go ahead and get our offset tool into this. I'm going to click once, and if you play with your mouse, you can go in, you can go out. I'm going to go in and just type in 2.25 inches, and now I can kind of just double click my other faces, and they will match that 2.25. So cool. And then we have these 3 upper doors above that piece of cabinetry. So let's go ahead and get our 3 inches for our crown, just kind of out of the way and around the top here. And then she's calling for 3 doors. So I just want to see what the width of this guy is. I've got some weird width of of 40, almost 45 inches. So I'm just gonna kind of make these look like 15 inches here. So we'll kind of go 15 over, and then I'll use that midpoint, and we kind of have 3 equal doors here of about 15 inches. Now let's continue to work on the corner of everything here. Drawers, half moon, tall door, sink, dishwasher, drawers. Let's go ahead and, again, I'm just going to start kind of how I do all my cabinets. I'm going to kind of just trim some of these lines here. I like to leave where the sink is going to be so I can just see that in my head. And again, the first thing that I like to do is I'm going to get that countertop thickness in there, 1.25 inches. Let's draw it all the way around. Cool. And then because I know this is going to be where my dishwasher goes, I'm just going to push that in. And we will add the dishwasher and the appliances at some point later in the video. And I'm just going to continue to snip some of these unneeded lines out. And then, of course, after we draw the countertop, I like to draw the toe kick. Kind of moving around the corners here, we'll erase a couple of these lines. And let's go ahead and push that toe kick in another, again, 2 inches or so. Sometimes it goes the opposite. Just a 2-inch push there. And I'm going to continue to trim these lines. Okay, so let's get back to the notes. In the corner here, she wants drawers. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to go 7 inches down from the top of the counter, or the bottom of the countertop. And I got my drawers lined up there. A sink base. I'm going to go 7 inches down again. We'll go over. I'll draw my line for the 2 doors. She called that out as a tall door in the corner. That's fine. And then a half moon, and then more drawers to the right of the range. So 7 inches down for the top drawer. Bada boom. And yeah, that's kind of the rough shape of it. So let's get our offset tool. I'm going to do my 2.25 our offset for all of these face panels. And boom, the corner cabinet is done. Before I get to drawing in the sink, I'm just going to do the same stuff for the upper cabinets. Let's get that 3-inch, the 3-inch crown molding spot locked in here. And then we'll kind of separate all these doors into what is on the plan. So she's calling this for 2 doors. She's calling that for 4 doors. So I'm just going to split the midpoint here. Over here, we're just going to split the midpoint twice. Cool. Okay, there you go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make each cabinet box its own group. So like that upper will be its own unit. This upper will be its own thing. This upper will be its own. This whole corner unit will be its own thing. And then left of the range will be its own unit. Now let's go ahead and get that sink drawn in. Again, I mentioned before, I like to kind of draw everything myself. So I'll show you how I draw sinks. She has a 34-inch opening for a sink for me. I'm going to take that as probably a 33-inch sink that she wants here. So I'm going to come in a 1/2 inch on each side. And from here, we'll just kind of go back a little bit. And we'll kind of pull this in a few inches as well. Let's go ahead and trim these lines. And who knows, maybe this sink is too big for this opening here. I might actually decrease it. But I have my box drawn. I'm just going to push this down to the bottom of my countertop line and click. I'm actually just going to pull, let's just pull these in a little bit. I'll give them a 30-inch sink. But there's my sink box. I'm going to use my offset tool. I'm going to click in the middle of it, and I'm going to just type in 0.25. That's a 1/4 inch. And then from here, I'm going to simply just push down, I don't know, like 6 inches. I'm going to grab my paint bucket. Let's grab that, that metallic texture that I used at the prep sink. And I'm just going to paint this sink real quick before I start drawing on it. I'll make it a double sink. I'm going to use my line tool, click the midpoint. We'll go up about, I don't know, 5.5 inches. Cool. I'm just going to go over 1/2 inch on each side. Hit that eraser tool, push pull, and we'll just go to the other side here. And then here, I'm going to hit my line tool again. I'm going to make those, that kind of X. Again, that's where the water will drain. And then I'm going to put my circles for my drains in there. And again, I don't really care that my sink looks perfect, or if you want to pull one from 3D Warehouse, again, go ahead. That's what they're there for. But I like to just kind of draw these quickly, as basically the time it takes me to draw the sink, it would take me the same time to go get it from the warehouse. So boom, very cool. We have pretty much drawn all of our kitchen cabinets. So I'm gonna take these. Let's go ahead and take the move tool, and I'm gonna grab the corner of this, and we'll kind of zoom out, and let's just kind of plop that down right in the corner to match there. And yeah, I'm gonna hit edit, unhide all, and what do you know? We have the makings of a kitchen here. And let me just kind of, so some things are not perfect here. What's the issue? Okay, so I'm a little frustrated because sometimes when she sends me these models, her walls don't always line up. So I'm gonna have to fix some of these things, but for the most part, those are good to go. And from here, I suppose my next move, I guess let me finish with these. We didn't put those door faces in the frames. And I just want to see, is this 96? I'm off by an inch. Okay. Is that the inch right there? Okay. So 1 second. I have to fix, for some reason, my upper cabinets didn't go up all the way that I was asking them to go. So hold on 1 second. Let me just get caught up here. I'm just pulling up my crown molding up an inch to meet the top of the ceiling here, and then we should be in good shape. Okay. And then again, I have to finish, let's get those offset faces for the door frames here. So again, just 2 1/4 offset. Make sure you're pulling them inward, not outward. And when I say that, I'll show you in a second here. If I were to click here and pull it outward, you see how it does that? And if I did my 2 1/2 out here, it would make the offset on the outside. So I'm just gonna hit undo. I'm gonna click back in, kind of zoom inside a little bit and make sure it goes on the inside. So bada bing, we have all of our cabinets looking to be in pretty good shape here. So I guess the next thing we will do is let's go ahead and I'm gonna hit File, and you can use import from the warehouse here, but I have on my hard drive here, I have a bunch of things that I have personally collected and liked to use. These are just standard defaults that I kind of put into my models. So I'm gonna go into my files here. Let me click into kitchen, and let's just grab, where is my fridge? I have this French door fridge that I just like to put in there as like a simple 36-inch fridge. Let me just rotate that along here. Here's my move tool. Grab that corner here, and let's just kind of zoom in to the corner down here and kind of lock it in. Just zoom out here. So boom, we have a fridge, perfectly good here. She did request a beverage fridge here, so I'm going to again go to import. I have a, where is my beverage fridge? Right here. Again, I have to rotate it into place, grab my move tool, and I'm just going to hit it there. I'm going to use my tools. I'm going to scale this to fit properly. It's a 2-foot opening. Make sure it goes all the way down as well. So there's our beverage fridge. Over here, we got to get a dishwasher in. So again, file, import. I highly recommend kind of creating your own library for your warehouse. It just speed things up instead of me having to continue to go to the warehouse every time. I like having my presets that I know the sizes, and I know that they're exactly what I'm looking for. I don't have to spend any time looking for new stuff. Here, I have an opening for a 30-inch range. I'm just going to import one of my 36-inch guys and just kind of scale it down. Not too big of a deal here. Let me just grab this wolf range. And again, we'll have to rotate it into place. All right, we'll grab the bottom node there and kind of just land it right there. Now, the scale tool is one of your biggest friends. I have the range selected here, but it's bigger than my opening. So I'm going to go to Tools, Scale. It's going to give me all of these nodes here. You can hit that K button that I mentioned earlier. You want to hit the middle node and just kind of move it to the side of the cabinet, and it'll click, and boom, now my range is 30 inches wide. And then she did call for a little beverage, or not a beverage, but a little, she called for a little microwave drawer here. So I'm going to kind of zoom into the island. Let's hit File, Import. I should have one microwave drawer right here. Now, I'm just going to kind of doctor this one up. I keep forgetting to do it in my file, but I don't like to just have this whole chunky body in my model. So I'm just going to kind of use my push-pull tool and just make it the face of the microwave drawer. Let's go ahead and move that. And I'm just going to kind of zoom here, hit the K button. I'm going to lock that in. And I'm going to use my scale tool. And then I'm just going to scale it to my opening that I have created here. Cool. Okay, so that's all good to go there. She did call for a specific range hood, so that's why I was waiting on that. Let me show you guys what sometimes I have to do. So she sent me this document here. This is the hood that she wants me to kind of mimic. So I'm gonna just kind of leave that open here on the side. And over here, I'm gonna take my rectangle tool. I'm kind of just gonna draw in a rough rectangle here. And this is gonna be my shape that I'm working with. I'm gonna make it a group right away too. So I always like to have the bottom of my range hood start 30 inches off the countertop. So I know that it's already 18 here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 12 inches. So now it's 30 inches off. You can see how it comes out, from the door faces of the upper cabinets a little bit. So I'm gonna pull this out, I don't know, like maybe 6 inches. Let's go ahead, and you can see the top band up here for crown molding. I'm gonna match my 3 inches that I've kind of been uniformly using all the way around. Let's go ahead and just push that in. And then you have this kind of trim piece wrapping around at the bottom here. I'm going to make that maybe 5 inches. So let's see what happens here. Okay, and then we have to add some tilt back to this. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to select this line here, and I'm going to use my move tool. I just want to move it back, and that should provide enough of why isn't it snapping? Oh well, I'm just gonna type in 6 inches and it'll go to 6 inches. So there we go. And there's no paneling or anything on this. This thing is just like a really simple wood, hood. And I'm gonna go underneath here. We'll kind of just create like a 1-inch lip at the bottom, and we'll just push that up. And then cool, we have that, and now we're pretty much all done with the cabinetry. It's all here. I think for the most part. Now we will move into the fun part of like dressing it up with materials. So I'm just going to continue to read these notes real quick. Slider door, we got that. Cutting board, bread box, like stove on the other side. Bar stools on the side, so we'll pick up some bar stools. Take wall out, make new painted cabinets. So we're going to leave them painted white. LVT throughout hallway, beverage fridge, prep sink with coffee station, opening shelving. Let's get that shelving over here on the wall. I forgot to do that earlier. I'm just going to click here. It says 3 floating shelves. Let's go over here and just kind of copy and paste that shelf on the top of the cabinet here. Put it in the corner. I'm going to go up 18 inches. We'll make the shelf about 1.5 inches thick. Ahead and erase that line. and that one. So there's one shelf. She called for 3 total, so I'm going to make that a group. We'll copy and paste another shelf in here. Let me just go up a foot, copy and paste another one, and just go up another foot. So there's your 3 shelves. Possible opening, shelving over sink. Yes, the island with seating, quartz top. Island could be different color or material. Hood with angles, but with wood on it. Okay, so now let's have some fun. So she did call for LVT flooring throughout. Let me go back to some of these photos. I'm not sure if we're trying to match. I'm assuming that flooring's coming out. So let me go ahead and let's just open up my paint bucket. I'm going to double click on my flooring. And I've already kind of have a bunch of, I've already used a bunch of things in SketchUp and have kind of created my own textures. I'll just kind of show you guys some of my favorite textures here as I go through. I'm going to click on this wood one here that I like for hardwood flooring look. And that one might be a little too big. A little bit of a nice red look to it. Let me kind of grab another one and see if it's any smaller. So that one's good. We'll leave that one. That's kind of the one of my better flooring samples here. And she mentioned wanting to keep, I believe she mentioned wanting to keep the cabinets painted white. This wood hood though, let's go ahead and just kind of grab, let me see if this wood texture looks good on that. So we have that, and let's just make the island wood too. Now I'm gonna go to my, what's it called? Tile maybe? We're gonna add some countertop material to these guys, and that'll start to make things pop, I believe. I'm just gonna use a simple white Carrera look. That's kind of the default that I use, and most people end up going with anyway, some kind of form of white Carrera or quartzy look. And it usually looks pretty good with a nice soft or warm wood. And then over here, let's just kind of click in and use my paint bucket. We'll just paint all these countertops now with our stone material that we have selected. SketchUp does come with like some nice basic ones, but over time, especially if you're serious about it, you're gonna want to. I mean, I have access to Photoshop. You're gonna want to find on Google. You can simply search for materials and save them, and kind of. I would recommend creating a folder, making a library, and importing these into your SketchUp. I think that's one of the best things that you can do to make your model look a little bit more realistic. And boom. Okay, so we got the countertops in now, and we got these wood looks here. I did add about an inch overhang on the countertops, and that does help things look more realistic. So let's go ahead and just add that inch to all the countertop edges. Oh, not backwards. It keeps going backwards on me. And hey, if you're still watching with me, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new. I want to continue to putting out a bunch of videos here. I specialize in residential remodeling, and if you want to start learning SketchUp or you want to get into remodeling and kind of drawing your own, that's cool too. So boom, let's go ahead and let's get this backsplash drawn in. Now I'm going to click my walls. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to click on the upper over here, and we're just going to make a rectangle in the corner. And then underneath here, I'm going to kind of complete that shape. Use my eraser tool, and I already have a bunch of materials ready to load here. So I'm just going to click one of my presets. Let's see what that looks like. That's a decent sized for this configuration. So we'll leave that in there, and let's go ahead and wrap this around here. This side gets a little bit more complicated. Let me see what's going on here. Let me kind of hide these guys. What's going on here? I'm gonna make a line on the bottom, and I'm just kind of sketching in where I want to put this tile backsplash. All right, we'll use the paint bucket and paint that in there. I'm gonna hit unhide all. And cool. This kitchen's really starting to come to life now. It looks great. And then over here, let's just put that subway tile underneath the first shelf. And we'll kind of just draw a rectangle there and hit the paint bucket. And cool, we have most of our materials kind of finalized now. Maybe these are wood shelves over here too. We can kind of do a little bit of that, something like that. Just some simple wood materials. Let me go ahead and I want to continue to populate the model. I'm going to hit import. We're going to go add my faucets now to both sinks. I have just, again, another simple faucet preset that I like here. It's kind of just my default. And I'll just kind of scale it down a little bit. Let's go ahead and move it to the center point of that sink. And then over here, I have a specialized faucet for a beverage center. So it's my beverage faucet. And let's go ahead and rotate and flip that sucker in. And we'll just kind of move it back there. Okay. So I think we got all the hard, we got all the majority of the hard stuff out of the way. I think at this point, we're going to do something kind of boring. And I just want to get all my hardware drawn on the cabinet. So I'm just going to take a rectangle tool and kind of just draw in the shape of a handle here. And I'll kind of just move it to the center point there. And let's go ahead and just kind of copy this. Now, I'm gonna go use a color, and I'm not sure what is finally going to be like the hardware. I don't really care too much about. That can be something selected. So I tried to just do something simple and let it not be distracting. But now that we got that drawn in, we can kind of just go around and copy and paste. We can just copy and paste all these handles to all of our door faces. So it does kind of pick up pretty easily here. So got that one down. Let me go to this upper. And I'm just copying and pasting all of these guys. Let's go down into this group here. Get a door handle here. Get a door handle here. This is a door as well. And then these are drawers. So I'm just going to copy these and we'll just rotate these to fit our door handle needs for the drawers. Cool. Over here, we got more drawers. So let's kind of flip these in. And again, I'm not really trying to, you can go to the 3D warehouse and get handles. When I do more realistic renderings, I tend to make my own handles, or if I can grab something that looks similar, I'll grab it from the 3D warehouse. But for the most part, I'm kind of just trying to suggest the shape, and I'll let the designer pick out the hardware later. But either way, we're moving and grooving here. Just plopping through the hardware, and yeah, that looks really great. Let me go over to this side of the cabinetry. Let's just continue to pop these handles everywhere. Just flip these guys. And again, I'm simply using the move and the rotate tool to get these guys kind of where I want to go. A lot of copying and pasting going on here. And if I'm going too quickly, I apologize. Let me know if I can re-explain something or do something more slowly for you in the future. And cool. Let me just finish up over here with this island. And then from there, I'm trying to think, what do we have left to do? We've got all of our materials pretty much figured out. We have the majority of things pulled in from the warehouse, but I think next we'll kind of populate this with some things directly from the warehouse, because I do not have everything saved to my liking, like on my hard drive, but I do have I do tend to want to, especially for bar stools, we're gonna go pick out bar stools right now for our island. So let's pull up the internet and let's just go to the warehouse here. Actually, I might not be able to. Let me see what we got. I'm gonna just type in bar stool here. And Try not to pick anything too crazy with my bar stools. I just want something simple. You know, I think we're trying to get 4 bar stools at this island seating here. Maybe we just do something simple like those stools. I think these might be fine. We'll just grab these guys. And I'm just downloading it and saving it to my desktop. From here, we'll go back into the model, hit import. Where's my desktop? Right there. And cool. We just imported a bar stool. And I'm not sure what is hidden in here. There's some kind of hidden geometry. But let's go ahead and rotate that bar stool in. I'll kind of just move it over here to where it makes sense. Let's go ahead and copy and paste these guys in here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get 4 in here. I think 3 is probably the comfort zone. So 1, 2, 3 bar stools. Cool. And then I just want to go back to my 3D model. She's calling for a dining table. I tend to hate, I really hate the dining tables in the 3D warehouse, but let's just find one. Dining table, it can be whatever. That one's kind of cool. Sure, why not? Let's just download this one and run with it. And you can spend more time looking, but at this point I care more about the kitchen cabinetry and what I'm selling. I'm not selling a dining table here. So I'm just going to kind of locate that guy there. I'm not sure. Let's get rid of all this lighting there, but that looks nice. We got a nice little dining table there now. Not quite the same size. Let's kind of regroup this. Let's resize this sucker. And I'm just using my scales tool, and I'm just kind of matching the shape on the floor here of that rectangle to make sure my table at least makes a decent look to it. And then these chairs, you can probably fit some more chairs. I'm just going to kind of realign these guys. Cool. Okay. So I mean, at this point, my 3D model is pretty much done. The final thing I would like to kind of teach you guys and show you is let's, well, I want to look at the pictures one more time. So there's kind of like a wood trim all the way around this house. So I don't want to leave everything white. So I'm just going to kind of click into my model. I'm going to grab my command tool, eyedropper tool, and I'm just going to paint all my trim the color of the wood that we have used throughout the kitchen so far. And this is just going to help make it look a little bit more realistic. Just painting all of my trim, all of my windows and doors, this nice wood looking material. And just hit these final couple pieces here. And then let's go ahead and I'm just going to click on my windows, and that should make my windows wood cladded, patio doors, and that. So cool. I think I got my model to where I want to go, and let's just put the finishing touches on it now. I'm pretty much all done drawing. Now I want to use my camera, standard view, top view, zoom extents. This is the top 3D view of my model, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do scenes now to kind of have a fly through for your model. So Windows, Scenes. Let's go ahead and just hit the plus button, hit create, create scene, and I'm going to call this 3D plan. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get our tool and section plane going. I'm going to kind of zoom out. I'm going to plane through that wall. Let's go ahead and select the plane and move it to kind of right about there. I'm going to hit standard view front. and let's hide the section plane. I'm gonna hit my zoom extents, and that is a nice little kitchen. And actually, I just forgot one thing. Let's go ahead and get crown molding drawn on this bad boy. I'm gonna hit File, Import. I do have a piece of crown molding ready to go, and go to my warehouse here. There is my 3-inch crown. I'm just gonna come in here and kind of rotate that, and let's put it here. Now this is one of the more advanced, exciting tools here. I'm gonna double click into this, and I'm gonna draw where I'm just gonna make a line where I want my crown molding to go, and I'm gonna go to Tools, Follow Me, and this crown molding now will essentially follow me. Oh, it's thinking around, and we have. So I guess I'm not sure if I like that. My crown detail there is white above the wood hood. Let me undo that actually. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna extend this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'm just gonna have a little bit of like a reveal here. Pull that out about 2 inches, and then let's go ahead and click back into that. I want to redraw my path, and then Tools, Follow Me, and I'm just kind of following the line of the path that I drew with my mouse, and that should create this really nice, cool crown molding look. And then over here, I'm gonna kind of just zoom in, and I'm just gonna start to paint my crown here. I do have to create a line here and here. Let me kind of just paint that. Cool. And then even up here, I'll kind of do the same. And I don't know, I'm kind of just spitballing here. I don't know if my designer lady's gonna even like this, but that kind of just looks like that then. And then over here, we got another piece of crown to put in. So I'm gonna hit import. We'll pop in my crown molding piece here. Hit my K button so it snaps. Clicking into my group here, and I'm just gonna trace the perimeter of that upper cabinet, and we're just gonna wrap around again. I'm just gonna leave that all painted white. I'm gonna hit my 3D plan button. It'll take me back to here. I wanna get some crown molding on this bad boy over here, the fridge and the pantry wall. And we're just gonna kind of throw that over here. Hit the select tool. Tracing where I want my crown molding to go. And let's use the follow me tool here. Cool. Okay, now we are done officially drawing things for the 3D model. So I'm gonna go back to my 3D plan. Let's hit view section planes. That's gonna show me that section plane that I put into here. I'm gonna click into it, right click, hide it, camera view front. Now I just kind of want to zoom in right here. I'm gonna hit the plus button on my scenes. Let's create new scene. And I'm just gonna call this simply 1. This is scene 1. Now I'm gonna hide my island and that microwave, and I'm gonna call this scene 2. I'm just gonna hit the plus button and draw a new 2. And what's nice now is I can toggle and kind of hide that if I wanted to show it. So let's go back to the 3D model view. I'm gonna go Tools, Section Plane. Let's go ahead and cut through this plane here. I'm gonna click and move it, and just kind of move that up to about there. And we'll kind of do camera view left. Let's view and uncheck all the section planes, and that's a really good view of the kitchen right there. So let's go ahead and hit plus. I'll call this one 3, and again I'm going to hide my island and my microwave so that I can toggle these guys off so you can see the back sink wall. And you can see here now we have these nice 2 buttons that allow us to kind of remove and show the back sink wall a little bit better. So let's continue. Tools, section plane, and I'm going to cut through this wall now. And let me kind of just line that up to right about there, should be good. We're going to do standard view back. Let me view, uncheck my section planes, kind of zoom in here, and let's go ahead and hit the plus button. Scene number 5, of course. Let's do that thing where we toggle and hide our island so we can see that back wall a little bit better. Hit plus. We'll call that view 6. Okay. Go back to my 3D plan view. I'm going to hit tools, section plane, and we have one more plane to cut through, and that's going to be this one so we can see that front of the island. I'll kind of just leave it right about there. We'll do the right view. I'm just toggling my section planes off. I'm going to hit zoom extents here, and it kind of just shows the front of the island real nice. And let's go ahead and hit and just call this scene number 7, I suppose. All right, so we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scenes. I'm gonna on my button, I like to kind of just my final button. I kind of just like to say return to 3D plan. So that kind of just acts as like this is the final scene. So here we go. We have our little fly-through. Let's just tap these. So 1. Now, one thing I don't like here is you can see all of my section planes. You see the 2 and the 4 up here. So I'm going to go to View, uncheck section planes, and then I'm going to right-click, update on scene number 1. Let's update the selected style. That should update all of my buttons now. So now when we click through this, you're not going to have any more of those section plane signals kind of pop up here. And this is just the final wrap up here of the fly-through, and that'll do it. That's the video, guys. That was how to remodel a kitchen in SketchUp from start to finish. I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. Hope you learned something. Again, definitely like the video, subscribe if you are new. Trying to grow this channel and show you guys how to do more things. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. I will always love to hear feedback and comments and things like that, and we'll love to have any dialogue with you if you need it. But that's it. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, whatever you need, and we'll see you guys in a future video. Peace.